Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about 8th standard social science, civics, unit 2, human rights and UNO. Human rights and UNO. In last class, we discussed two important topics in this lesson. One is understand what human rights are. Second one, understand the relationship between rights and responsibilities. So, these were the two topics we discussed in the last class. Now we are going to discuss about know the importance of human rights. Second, understand that human rights belong to everybody. Third one, appreciate the meaning and significance of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. So now we are going to discuss deeply. Okay, first one, basic characteristics of human rights. Basic characteristics of human rights. So first one is inherent. Inherent means nature, by nature. They are not guaranteed by any person or authority. They are not guaranteed by any person, single person or authority. That is inherent. Second, fundamental. Second one, fundamental. They are fundamental rights because without them the life and dignity of man will be meaningless. So without fundamental rights our life is meaningless. Third one, inalienable. Inalienable, that is can't change. They cannot be taken away from the individual. That human rights cannot be taken away from the individual. That is inalienable. Fourth one, indivisible. Indivisible. Indivisible means can't divide. That means they cannot be denied even when other rights have already been enjoyed. So that is indivisible. Next one, universal. That means worldwide. They are universal. They apply irrespective of one's origin or status. They are enforceable without national border. That is enforceable without national border. That is universal, worldwide. Next, last one is interdependent. That means dependent. That is they are interdependent because the fulfillment or exercise of one human right cannot be had without the realization of the others. That is very, very important. What is that? Had without the realization of the others. So that is interdependent. So next one is kinds of human rights. Kinds of human rights. There are 30 articles incorporated in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. How many articles? 30 articles in human rights. These rights are broadly classified into 5 primary categories. How many categories? 5 primary categories. They are as follows. First one, civil rights. First one, civil rights. The term civil rights refers to the basic rights offered by laws of the government to every person, that is given by the government through the laws to each and every person. This is the right to be treated as an equal to everyone else. The very basic thing of the human rights is equality. It includes the rights to life, liberty, freedom from slavery and arbitrary arrest. So that is very, very important in the human rights. What is that? It includes the rights to life, liberty, freedom from slavery and arbitrary arrest. Next one, political rights. Second one is political rights. Political rights are exercised in the formation and administration of a government. Political rights are exercised in the formation and administration of a government. The civil and political rights are directly related to modern democracy. Both the things, civil and political rights, directly related to the modern democracy. They protect the individual from the misuse of political power and recognize every individual's right to participate in their country's politics process. It is very help to each and every individuals to participate in the politics in their country. It includes the freedom of expression and peaceful assembly, the right to take part in the government of one's country, the right to vote, the freedom of speech and obtain information. So these are the things we can gain from the human rights, including in the political rights. Next one, social rights. It is necessary for an individual to fully participate in the society. Next, the full participation of the each and every person in the society. Social rights are those rights necessary for an adequate standard of living, including right to education, health care, food, clothing, shelter and social security. So these are the very important thing in the social rights. Next one, economic rights. Next one, economic rights. The rights to participate in an economy that benefits all and to desirable works. We can go anywhere else for the desirable work. Next one, economic rights guarantee every person to have condition under which they are able to meet their needs. That is very, very important. Able to meet their needs. That's why we are going to work. This includes the rights to employment and fair wage, the responsible limitation of working hours, shelter, education and adequate standard of living and the right to property. So these are included in the economic rights. Next, cultural rights. It is very, very important in each and every human beings. Culture. The right to freedom of religion and to speak the language and to practice the cultural life of the community. The right to share in a scientific advancement and the right to the protection of moral and material interest. So these are the things included in the cultural rights. Okay, next, the difference between human rights and the civil rights. The difference between human rights and the civil rights. First one, human rights. Human rights belong to everyone, everywhere, regardless of nationality, sexuality, gender, race, religion or age. Next, civil rights. Civil rights are those rights that one enjoys by virtue of citizenship in a particular nation or state. Second one, human rights are considered universal to all human beings and universal in all countries. That is universal level. Next, civil rights. Civil rights vary greatly from country to countries or government to government. It is related to the constitution. Next, it is differ from country to country and government to government. Next, no nation may rightfully deprive human rights to an individual. No country can take the human rights from individual. Next, civil rights. Different nations can grant or deny different civil rights and liberties. The government can take and give the rights to the people. Human rights are basic rights inherent with birth. it is inherent, that is nature by birth. Civil rights is, civil rights are creation of the society, it is created by the society. Okay. Students, can you understand the difference between human rights and civil rights? Okay. Okay students, next we are move to the next topic, that is Human Rights Commission. The Economic and Social Council, a principal organ of the United Nations, was empowered to set up a commission for the promotion of human rights. That important organ of United Nations set up a commission for the promotion of human rights. National level and state level human rights commissions were established to ensure the protection of human rights. So, two commissions were established for what? To ensure the protection of human rights. Ensure means to give guarantee to the protection of human rights. Okay. So, first one is National Human Rights Commission. National Human Rights Commission, it is work throughout the national level. First one, the National Human Rights Commission NHRC of India was established on 12th October 1993. 12th October 1993, the National Human Rights Commission was established. It is an independent, statutory and non-constitutional body. It is an independent and a non-constitutional body. Its headquarters is located in New Delhi. National Human Rights Commission is a multi-member body which consists of a chairperson and other members. It is consists of one chairperson and other members. The president appoints the chairperson and the other members. The members of the National Human Rights Commission, like chairperson and other members, are appointed by the president. They are appointed for 5 years. The official term of the members are 5 years or till the age of 70 years, whichever is earlier. National Human Rights Commission has 5 divisions. It has 5 divisions. One is Law Division, second one is Investigation Division, third one is Policy Research and Programs Division, fourth one Training Division and Administrative Divisions. So it has 5 divisions. National Human Rights Commission, it has 5 divisions. The National Human Rights Commission is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights in India. The National Human Rights Commission, it is responsible for the protection and promotion of human rights in India. It is a very, very important one. Next, State Human Rights Commission. The State Human Rights Commission of Tamil Nadu was formed on 17th April 1997. In 17th April 1997, the State Human Rights Commission of Tamil Nadu was formed. It functions at the state level. Through the state level, it is working. It consists of 3 members including a chairperson. Totally 4 members, 1 chairperson and 3 members. A State Human Rights Commission can inquire into violation of human rights related to subjects convert under state list and concurrent list in the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. It is fully take care of the human rights in the state level. Okay. Next one. So these are the 2 important commissions were established for the protection and the promotion of the human rights. One is National Human Rights Commission and second one is state level Human Rights Commission. So next we are going to discuss about the human rights organizations. Human rights organizations. Many organizations around the world level, many organizations were take their efforts to protect human rights and for ending human rights abuse. So worldwide, world level, there are a lot of organizations were established for the protection of human rights and for ending human rights abuse. Abuse means misuse. These non-governmental organizations, so these are the non-governmental organizations, may monitor the actions of the government and pressure them to act according to human rights principles. These non-governmental organizations give the pressure to the government to work on the basis of the human rights principles. Some of these organizations are Amnesty International, Children's Defense Fund, Human Rights Watch. So these are the some important non-governmental organization for protect the human rights. Okay, next child right. Next child rights. According to Article 1 of the United Nations Conventions on the Rights of the Child 1989, a child means every human being below the age of 18 years. So every human being below the age of 18 years, they are considered as a child. Okay, the convention on the right of the child was proclaimed by UN on 20th November 1989. That right of the child was proclaimed by United Nations on 20th November 1989. Okay, next, the child is considered as an important national asset. The child, they are important national asset. The future of the nation depends on how its children mature and develop. On the basis of the children mature and develop, the nation's future will be decided. So protection of children, it is very must. Protection of children from all kinds of exploitation and abuse, that is very important. Exploitation and abuse has become the main objective of our society. So each and every part of society, we must work hard to remove the exploitation and abuse of the children. There are laws in India protecting the rights of the children. There are lot of laws to protect the rights of the children. Next, UNO has declared 1978 as International Year of Women, 1979 as the International Year of Children. Okay, next, Right to Education Act. Right to Education Act. Article 21A provides that the state means the government shall provide free and compulsory education to all children aged 6 to 14 years. So the government must provide the compulsory and free education to the 6 to 14 years children. Next, the Child Labor Act. The Child Labor Act, Prohibition and Regulation Act 1986. It provides no children who has not completed 15 years of age can be employed. After the completion of the 15 years, they can move to work. Before that, it is impossible. Next, third one, the care and protection of children. Juvenile Justice Act 2000, Care and Protection of Children. This act tries to protect children deprived of adequate care and to reform the children by adopting child-friendly approach. Next one, POSCO Act 2012. POSCO Act 2012. Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act regarded the best interest of the child as being paramount important in every state. So the children should be protected. from the sexual abusement. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about women rights. What is that? Women rights. Women and girls' rights are human rights. Women are entitled to the full and equal enjoyment of all their human rights and to be free from all forms of discrimination. So, two things are very, very important. First one is full and equal enjoyment of their human rights. Second one, they must be free from all forms of discrimination. That means differences. This is fundamental to achieve human rights, peace and security and sustainable development. So these are the three things are important one. What is that? Peace and security and sustainable development. So the Charter of United Nations guarantees equal rights to both women and men. So all are equal before the law. That should be followed in the human rights. The Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, adopted in 1979 by UN General Assembly, is described as an international bill of rights for women. The elimination of all forms of discrimination against women, adopted in 1979 by the UN General Assembly, is described as an international bill of rights of women. Next, in 1995, the Fourth World Conference of Women, Fourth World Conference was held in 1995, held in Beijing, developed a platform for action to recognize women's rights and improve women's livelihood worldwide, and follow-up meetings monitored progress towards meeting these goals. The United Nations developed Fund for Women, UNIFEM, has worked since 1995 to implement the Beijing Platform for Action. Only when women and girls have full access to their rights will true equality exist. During in the time of Fourth World Conference in 1995 at Beijing, that was totally concentrate on the development of the woman's lifestyle. They wants to improve, they wants to develop the woman. That's why they introduced or formed the UNIFEM to develop the women lifestyle. Okay, next, legislation and provisions. Legislation and provisions. First one, the Hindu Widow Remarriage Act was passed in 1856. It is legalized widow remarriage. Next, legislations. The Hindu Marriage Act 1955 states that the marriageable age for women is 21. Legislation. The Hindu Succession Act 1956 provision ensured the right to women to inherit their parental property. Next, legislation. The Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. It provides drastic punishment for those ill-treating the bride in the name of dowry. So, dowry was fully prohibited. The Eve Teasing Act 1997 gives relief to women from the eve teasing. Next, legislation. Indecent Representation Act 1999 prohibits the indecent representation of women in magazine, newspapers, etc. Legislation. The Forest Act of 1948, the Plantation Labor Act of 1951, the Mines Act of 1952, the Maternity Benefit Act 1961 protects the women workers. These acts protects the women workers. Next, legislation, Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. It protects women from harassment by husband and family members. So these are the legislations and provisions was introduced for protect the human rights. Conclusion, last one is human rights are about equality and fairness for everyone, and it ensures that everyone is treated with dignity and respect. So that is a very important thing in the human rights, that is dignity and respect of each and every individuals. Next, the protection of human rights is everyone's responsibility, that is each and everyone's responsibility is to protect the human rights. Okay, we must understand and respect for human rights that provides the foundation of peacefulness, harmony, security and freedom in our country. Okay, so we must realize and understand about the human rights. Okay, thank you students. So the lesson is over. So we will discuss the next lesson in the next class. Okay, thank you.